So what were we gonna talk about again? Oh yeah. So for our in-lore conversation today, this is our in-lore conversation. We decided we wanted to keep it KOTOR related, and we can stray from this because I do think this. Well, it's not a bad subject, and it's a really good subject, but I feel like there just isn't enough to go on for a long time. But we were going to talk about the Rakata. So again, I don't know if I have to explain what everything is we're going to talk about here, because I mean this is pretty like deep big
I love
lore.
the concept of the mystery box as a prison. It's just awesome. I love that level.
Oh yeah, the mystery box.
Right. Okay. Well, so if you don't know who the Rakata are, play KOTOR 1. But basically, the Rakata are the sort of ancient aliens of KOTOR 1, the aliens that built the big the big Star Forge, which is basically the super weapon in KOTOR 1 that Malik uses to create his gigantic Sith fleet. Yeah. But the Rakata are like, they're basically presented all throughout KOTOR 1 as having, basically, they had the Infinite Empire, the empire that controlled the entire galaxy for a while, but then eventually fell and basically regressed into barbarism. Like, by the time you meet the Rakata, like the physical Rakata in KOTOR 1, they're basically just like tribal. Apparently they're cannibals. A lot of people say that.
Cool.
Yeah, apparently a lot of people say that.
I could imagine that. I don't know for sure. I mean, I don't think that's confirmed.
I don't think it is either.
I mean,
a lot of people have
They
said
do
they are.
kill each other, so
Yeah,
I guess it's not too far a stretch.
on relatively small islands where food
Although
might be
it's a water
scarce.
planet, so surely there's, I don't know. I guess you maybe get bored of fish.
It's only so much seafood you can eat.
Yeah.
Turns out Rakatans are delicious.
They go great with seaweed.
Right.
Looks like chicken.
But basically, they've regressed into basically just like tribalism, like pre-industrial tribalism. Like some of them still sort of retain the knowledge of the empire, but they've sort of just sealed themselves off, and the other Rakatan tribes are there, basically living as like small tribal groups, right? And like they know that the priestly caste is hiding something, but they don't know what it is, and then
I always presumed there might be more of them out there, kind of like
the Sith.
Stargate. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Stargate, but there's the ancients and they seeded the galaxy and all that, and there's sort of remnants of them here and there. So like there could just be another planet, like and another Star Forge somewhere. Or it wouldn't be so much a Star Forge; it might be a different.
Yeah.
It's a very common trope in sci-fi, honestly. Like the Mass Effect has it.
The Forerunners,
Star Trek has
the
it.
Protheans.
Yeah, Star Trek has it too. Star Trek has the Iconians, and then like it's a very common trope. Like there's this ancient alien race that like the reason all of our biologies are so similar is because of
Especially
this
in,
ancient
like,
alien race.
Ear sci-fi, where it's like, okay, it's only 100, 200 years from now, but we're flying across the galaxy in just a couple of minutes. It's usually because found some ancient alien technology that catapults us in a way we could not possibly do otherwise.
Yeah,
100 years of technological progression.
Yeah, and Star Wars.
They just fill that role for Star Wars.
Star Wars doesn't exactly follow that mold, but it sort of does, because like, the Rakatan hyperdrive actually is the forerunner to the modern hyperdrive that they use during the movie period and stuff like that, and even during the Old Republic and stuff. This would have been, again, the Rakatan Empire is pre-Republic. It's tens of thousands of years before the Republic. Like we're talking like I think the Rakatan Empire fell something like 80,000 BBY. Like we're talking super ridiculous spans of time. Probably.
What about the Tatooine temple? Should I use that? Does anyone reckon? And sorry to have interrupted you.
I didn't even know there was a Tatooine temple.
Yeah, it's a big temple.
Oh yeah,
like Tatooine temple. It's also got like a cave.
It was going to be on the star map or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was thinking of reusing it for the Slaheron
one
and making it found in I don't know, like a mining expedition.
Is it like the Rakata?
That was my initial thought.
Is it like the Rakata temple on Dantooine?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just bigger.
Interesting.
It's quite a bit bigger, but it's not finished, so I think I need to like poke around and place a few textures in a few places.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, back to the Rakata. So a lot of the basically the idea was over the course of KOTOR that the Rakata had controlled all of the planets that you traveled to. Most of the planets in the galaxy had the Rakata presence there. Either the Rakata ruled over the planets, or they just didn't give a shit about it, right? Because
exactly.
like sentient life hadn't developed there yet, or had colonized it or something. But lots of planets were colonized by the Rakata and terraformed to suit their needs. Like they basically had technologies fueled by the Force, and that's an important part. Like the Rakatan technology was actually fueled by the Force. It wasn't like purely mechanical. Like, I mean, to a certain extent it was, but the actual dark side of the Force was what fueled Rakatan technology. So the Rakata would basically have slave races that were intended to serve as vessels of Force power for their machines to operate.
Quite Mass Effecty.
Yeah.
Like anciently type stuff, yeah. Well, yeah, as you said, all sci-fi.
But yeah, basically, so like, for those of you who've played KOTOR, it's the little harnesses that Malak has the Jedi hooked up to during the boss fight that he like sucks the power out of to heal himself. That is actually that is like the warp core of Rakatan technology. That is what powers Rakatan technology. But here's the thing: it's incredibly sinister. It's incredibly dark and evil. Like, those people are basically subjected to eternal torture until they just completely run out of juice, I guess. Very similar to, if anyone's ever read the Truce of Bakura, it's very similar to what the Siruvi use in that. Which is another Star Wars book, really old. It's like one of the first EU books. But basically, it's the first invasion from the unknown regions before the Yuuzhan Vong made it cool.
I literally know nothing about the Yuuzhan Vong, except like I've seen like I don't know, some Rakata ladder videos where like it says
the
basics, but even then I haven't read anything with them, so I don't really know.
Man, we could talk. We could do the Yuuzhan Vong for another episode. That would be pretty cool. I don't know how much the other like
bad idea actually.
Vatred
know. I don't know too much about the Yuuzhan Vong. I think they're kind of corny.
It's just
I certainly are.
They're corny, but I love them. I think they're awesome.
They existed.
Ruin Palpatine with their existence, though.
They kind of do.
It's a Fable 3 type situation.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I only played Fable 1, but
that way.
Yeah, I know. I'm the only person who actually has favorable opinions of Fable because I only played the first one, which is
2 is also good, but anticlimactic.
No,
anyway.
I don't know. Most people I've talked to considered 1 the only good one, and 1's the only one
I played. I've played
I beat 1. I completely
I heard
beat it.
1 was good from a lot of people, and I heard similar stuff about later ones not being as good, but I didn't play them.
I just love a game that has side quests where you have to go fart on bullies to get them to stop messing with people. But anyways, yeah, okay, but yeah, maybe we'll have the Yuuzhan Vong for another episode. But I like them a lot. They are pretty polarizing. A lot of people don't like them, but I do like them mostly because it's not just Sith versus Jedi, light side versus dark side. They are an objectively evil force that are completely different from anything else. But anyways, back to the Rakata. So the idea was that they would have these slave races that they would use both to build structures and build new mechanisms of creating things, terraforming planets, making fleets with the Starforge and things like that. But also to be used as power sources, essentially, to harvest their force energy and channel it into these big fucking doomsday machines, right? Very dark side again. Very like it's actually kind of similar to what I think like Palpatine eventually wanted to do with the Empire. Like if he had reigned for hundreds of years or something, he probably would have set up something similar. But you know, obviously that never happened. But the point of this, the point is that the Rakata created most of the planets that we know, and they essentially terraformed them to be mono biomes. You know, a lot of people dog on Star Wars for having like planets that only have one topographical feature, which, you know, I mean, geographically that makes no fucking sense.
Is it confirmed? Is that confirmed? Are you sure? It's
only confirmed for the planets that the Rakata are confirmed to have terraformed. So Kashyyyk, Tatooine.
I don't remember. Oh well, maybe it does mention them terraforming. Maybe I do vaguely remember it on Kashyyyk. I've been skipping through a lot of it.
So when Tatooine, at Tatooine, you hear it through the Sand Person's shaman who tells you the story.
Yeah.
And when you talk to him, you have to ally the Sand People. You can't just kill them all. When you ally the Sand People and you talk to them, you can ask them questions about their creation myths and stuff.
Been a long time since I've done that.
When they tell you their creation myths, they basically say, you know, obviously it's very colloquialized to them, but they basically say something along the lines of like, yes, we were not always here. We were deposited here by the demons from above, or something like that. I don't remember the exact terminology that they used, but we served the demons for years and years and years, and then we overthrew them and we drove them away. But in response, they turned our homeworld, our lush homeworld, to glass, which over the millennia weathered into sand, and that's why Tatooine is a complete desert planet. Because basically the idea was that the ancestors of the Sand People revolted against the Rakata, overthrew them, but then the Rakata returned later and glassed Tatooine, like basically bombarded the surface until it was just completely glass. But originally Tatooine was like a lush temperate planet, and it just never recovered after that. And you know, after you know, natural weathering takes place over tens of thousands of years, and eventually you get the desert planet, which appears in so many more Star Wars works in the future. And Kashyyyk, the computer on Kashyyyk basically tells you that the Kashyyyk was basically supposed to be a garden planet. It was supposed to be an agricultural planet where they grew foodstuffs across the entire planet.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
And when the Rakatan Empire fell, they just left their machinery on, which is why all the planets on Kashyyyk are hundreds of kilometers tall. You know, everything's giant, everything's savage, everything's huge, because it's literally just all this like life energy being poured out into the planet just constantly for thousands of years, thousands and thousands of thousands of years. Basically makes everything on Kashyyyk evolve super quickly, makes it evolve into super deadly forms and super huge. And then the Wookiees are basically the descendants of the slave race that was on Tatooine, or on Kashyyyk, that was originally intended to work the fields.
Surely the map can't be the only part of the facility.
No, probably not. There's probably lots of different ones. Yeah, there's probably lots of different ones.
That would be cool.
Yeah. But yeah. Again, all the temples you find, all the Rakatan temples you find in KOTOR have some other purpose. Like it's not only to hide the star map. It's like basically that was probably like one of the Rakatan's bases on that planet, and they just stored the star maps there because, you know. And the other thing too is that like the star maps, they talk about how when you find the star map on Dantooine, when you find the first star map, Bastila talks about how the star map. It's not that like you're meant to go find all the star maps at once. It's that this originally was a complete star map, but over hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of years, it had degraded to the point where like the map is incomplete. But once you have a complete map of the Infinite Empire, that's when you find Rakata Prime with a Starforge orbiting over it.
Yeah, well, there should be 6. I mean, the animation shows 6 as well, but it also shows a lost one. So I guess you can sort of figure it out with 5 vaguely. With 6, but you need 6 points realistically to triangulate a position in space, because you need both
to hexangulate.
Exact. Yeah, well, yeah, to triangulate.
I don't know. So what else? Is there any other? I guess that was just like a brief overview of what the Rakata are in Star Wars. Like they're the ancient aliens race. They were force sensitive. They were evil. They were super evil. They used the dark side to enslave other races and use them as batteries for the Starforge, for their terraforming planets. And then on Manon too.
There's quite a bit in the Old Republic as well.
Manon was meant to grow Kolto, wasn't it?
I guess. I don't
Pretty
know.
sure.
I think Manon's probably the vaguest out of the 4 planets, because Korriban. Well, Korriban, we don't actually see the Rakatan Temple. The Rakatan star map on Korriban was actually moved into the tomb of Naga Sadow after it was built. So we never actually see Rakatan ruins on Korriban, except for the star map, which Naga Sadow probably had placed in his tomb. When his tomb was built, in the Valley of the Dark
And
Lords.
presumably found or took from...
Yeah, I mean, it was probably discovered by the ancient Sith.
Or...
Yeah, it was probably discovered by the ancient Sith like a long time ago. Because this is not part of KOTOR lore, but there actually is legends about how the Sith successfully overthrew the Rakata. Not like the ancestor of the Sand People who got glassed. The Sith successfully overthrew the Rakata through their own dark side manipulation. Under a guy named Addis, King Addis, who is a super old Dark Lord of the Sith. I mean, this is pre like Ajanta Paul, pre Dark Jedi coming over and assuming the mantle of the Dark Lords of the Sith. This is like real. This is Sith species like way long time ago, But yeah,
ancient Egyptians.
Yeah,
this is the ancient aliens.
Red-skinned ancient Egyptians, basically, yeah. Complete with pyramids and revealing gold ornament jewelry and probably lots of guy liner.
I always
Fucking
liked
love
how
the
they
ancient
fought
Sith.
with like the force imbued swords. Too.
Yeah, those. Have you seen? I mean, you probably have. You seen the artwork of the ancient Sith swords and stuff? It looks cool.
Oh yeah.
It's like a sword, like a scimitar, right? Like a real life scimitar with like red lightning coursing around it. It looks so fucking cool.
Like there's 2 kinds of the Lanvarok or whatever. There's like the Sith and Masasi one. Like the Sith one's like a dual-sided crescent blade, almost like a handheld botlith. The Masasi one's like a wrist disc launcher.
Yeah, it's like a thing you put on your wrist and there's a handle on it. Yeah, and it shoots like razor sharp discs. Yeah.
Still a hell of a lot cooler than early lightsabers where they had the little battery pack on them.
Yeah.
At the bottom.
Yeah, you plug them into your belt. Yeah. How many people?
I still like the Rebels gun lightsaber, just because like anyone could use that, and it'd be sick to stun.
Oh, we're back to the gun saber.
I still like it. It's just awesome.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
I can't stand
it's
that.
better than helicopter sabers.
I was gonna say, as someone who likes weird lightsaber designs, anything but the Inquisitor's helicopter saber is fine by me.
I was gonna say, if you're saying it's better than the helicopter saber, is like comparing shit and piss. Like, it's just like, okay,
no, it's
well,
not that bad.
I don't know, man.
It'd be a handy tool.
Maybe we'll talk about Maybe we'll do another episode about lightsaber designs, but
lightsabers would be another good one.
Yeah.
There is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that, like, just lightsaber swords, like normal lightsabers, are way too common, and there should be, like,
Crystals,
way more...
the different crystals they use.
There should be way more lightsaber... There should be way more lightsaber variants than there actually are. There should be way more lightsaber pikes, lightsaber spears. That makes too much sense not to use, Republic military.
Or there just are lots in the universe.
Anyways. Would you consider the Night Sisters, like, energy bow and arrows like a lightsaber bow and arrow?
Oh. No.
No.
I mean, would you consider a blaster a small lightsaber launcher?
Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
That's a good point.
We'll accept the whips, though. Even though they make no sense.
Yeah,
they
saber
are
whips.
cool as shit.
Saber whips make no sense at all. But yeah, I do like them. They are cool.
Don't they make more sense as just like laser whips or hollow whips or something? I don't know.
I just like the idea of
They
a
have
whip.
like an actual filament in the center, like the Zygarians
Yeah.
do. Like you can chop one of those.
Yeah.
Have like a filament that
just to transmit the
radiated.
Well, because there's
energy.
two different types. There's light whips, which is like what Silry has, where it's literally just you turn it on like a lightsaber, but it's a whip, and it just goes and you know.
I love Silry.
And there's the whips that like the Zygerians have, which are just whips that you can like run an electrical current through, that you hit a button and then the whip starts being electrically charged, which is different but similar in idea, you know, similar in concept, I guess. Okay, well, let's talk about I don't know, any more stuff about the Rakata? Like, how are we doing on time, Vader? You got like
I got about 45 minutes.
45 minutes? Okay. So we can talk a little bit more about the Rakata then. I don't know. I really do like the Rakata. As far as Ancient Aliens go, I probably know the most about the Rakata than I do about any of the other Ancient Aliens in, like, other sci-fi stuff. I mean, I'm sure I'll learn more about the Protheans the more Mass Effect I play.
So you need to finish Mass Effect.
But, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's also, yeah. But,
Protheans, Ancient, and Rakata from Stargate, Star Wars, and Mass Effect are all very similar.
Yeah, and then I mean there's other stuff too. Like
we could talk about Halo, and we could discuss the Forerunners. You know,
there's the Forerunners, and then again Star Trek has the Iconians, which but Star Trek has a lot of different Ancient Aliens though. There's like a lot of them just sort of just transcended reality and became like like non-corporeal uber life forms like the Q.
Right.
And stuff, but
what's the big giant floating Santa Claus head in the Nth Degree?
Oh God.
This is Barkley.
My
favorite
seen
episode
such
next
a thing,
gen.
and I'm glad I haven't.
Oh my God.
I don't
remember their names, but they're the same thing.
Isn't that the one that makes his head grow out like fucking Sheen from Jimmy Neutron? In that one
And he just becomes a super fucking genius and solves every human problem in like 20 minutes.
He basically turns into MODOK. Yeah.
He plugs himself into the holodeck and takes over the Enterprise with his brain.
Mm-hmm.
One.
Okay. So what else about the Rakata? They look real weird. They look like a spore alien. Yeah, I guess let's talk about the mind prison that you brought up.
Man.
That you brought up earlier. That's
I wanted to put. Well, at the moment it's in the second game, in Expanded Galaxy.
right.
I don't know what to do with it. I was thinking about having you transfer it from the person you gave it to in the first game to another person. Like for example, the hut that you. I think you deliver it to a hut in the first game, don't you? On Tatooine?
You know, it'd be a funny twist.
An agent of a hut.
You know, it'd be a funny
and
twist.
They'd obviously have someone test it, and then you could have them ship it to their enemy hut or something. And I don't know what.
If you made it so you're supposed to deliver it to Zax on Tatooine, right? Or not Zax?
Yeah. I believe so. Whatever his name is.
Not Azure.
No, Azure's the
No, so I think it is Sax. If it's not, it doesn't matter.
Well, the hut on Tatooine you're supposed to give it to. What if in KOTOR 2, he was the one trapped in the mine box, and the hut you get it from is actually that Rakata that you boogaloo in KOTOR 1 to get out of the mine trap. You get what I'm saying? So it's like the hut you deliver it to got trapped in the mine box, and he's been trapped in it for 5 years.
You see him, and it's actually the Rakata in the hut's body. He's not really acting like a hut, but he really loves riddles for some reason, and you're not sure why.
Yeah.
He's terrible at math.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying, Thor? You look confused.
Sorry, well, so you might have to repeat. I was trying to find the name of the hut. I think it went Mota.
Ah! Oh god, sorry. My books and stuff just fell over. So you know how you're supposed to give it to that hut on Tatooine, right? You basically make it in KOTOR 2 make it in KOTOR 2 that hut ends up getting stuck in the mine box, and you actually get the mine box from the Rakata whose mind is inside the hut.
I don't think I ever did that.
Don't think you ever did what?
You said you can get them stuck in it. I might have done it, actually. I'm not sure.
No, I'm saying it would be funny if you did do that.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that'd be funny.
In KOTOR 2, you see the hut that you delivered it to, and he's just speaking like the Rakata.
Yeah,
he's actually trapped in the...
Yeah.
He's trapped in the box.
That would be fun.
I hate numbers! No!
Like hemorrhaging money because he can't keep up with all the finances.
Yeah, he doesn't know what
you go into the mine box, and then instead of Rakata there, Mota? Yeah. Mata, that's right. Yeah, so you go into the mine box in KOTOR 2, right? And Mata the Hutt is sitting there, and he's like, "Let me out! What's happening?"
Don't know riddles.
He's gone insane by this point. That would be funny. And then you have to do something with Mata the Hutt to get out. Or Mata the Hutt gets out and takes over your body. And the cycle continues.
For now, it's just there as an Easter egg. I don't know what I'm even going to do with it. But I might use it in the second game and the first game and like link it. It'd be kind of cool.
It would be a funny, quirky quest. I like it.
Just an extra variable to carry across.
I did just do the quest. I did do the quest, the companion quest in Mass Effect 2, where you find what's her name? The like spy chick. You do her companion quest. Kasumi, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you go into the museum, and there's a fucking Dragon Age ogre in there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's neat. It's got like fucking Michelangelo's David with the penis broken off, so it can be in the game.
Yep.
And the Statue of Liberty's head. Oh yeah,
it's a good one.
This is the only Turian art that has ever left the Turian homeworld, and it's like a fucking slab of rock.
My favorite SMG in the game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do we have any other? I mean, we've got some time. Like, do we have any other stuff? I mean, that's basically what we came up with. Does anyone? We can talk about like more KOTOR stuff. If chat has any questions, I mean, now's a good time.
Did have one person in chat asking if think Darth Maul might appear in any live action series or get their own.
I could see it. I hope not, but I could see it.
They did tease us with that April Fool's Netflix joke years ago. There was like a 3-minute trailer for a Darth Maul live action series with Ray Park, fully makeup, fully choreographed. It looked fucking hanging.
I don't remember.
It was on April Fool's Day, and they announced it was a joke later that day.
Damn.
Everybody was sad about it.
That's rough.
I don't know. I'm so tired of Darth Maul. I'm so tired of being shoehorned into everything. I do.
He
is cool Like, I can't stress that enough. I do like it. I do like him, and he is cool, but, like, god damn, why does he have to be in everything? Why did you bring him back from the dead? Like, why does he need to be in Rebels and Solo and
I do agree with that. He didn't need to be brought back. He'd been cut in half.
At this point, I would want to see...
Yeah.
He did a Luke.
I would want to see, like...
On Cloud C.
Sorry to like. I don't want to like be mean to reviewer or anything, but like I'm so tired. I'm so tired of Maul.
Also, I want to see like pre-Phantom Menace Maul.
Way to tell me you were streaming, by the way.
Pre-Phantom Menace Maul would.
Yeah, like an adaptation of Shadowhunter, that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah. Or like him being.
I don't think there's
with Plagueis and Palpatine.
Well, wasn't that the that was the concept of the Darth Maul game, wasn't it? It was supposed to be like pre-Phantom Menace?
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be like
I don't remember the Darth Maul game. I didn't play it.
There was one in development, and then Disney bought LucasArts and canned it. Right. Yeah, it was
around 1313.
It was the other one. It was being developed alongside 1313. Yeah. Which I was more stoked for 1313, but like. Yeah, I mean, the Darth Maul game would have been fucking cool, too, so...
Right. It would have been better than Obi-Wan.
Oh, the Obi-Wan game?
Yeah.
Man, that game was wacky.
Oh, that is...
I remember most of my memory of that game involved me falling into a lava pit. Because the controls were weird and wonky. even for like an Xbox game from 2002. It was weird and wonky controls. Yeah.
I just want to see Ray Park back in the full fucking get up, like kicking ass around,
doing his wushu,
something like I don't want it to be post Phantom Menace. I certainly don't want it to be post the Clone Wars.
Darth Maul screaming,
sure,
and
that's
crying,
what we're gonna get.
Throwing tantrums.
I'm sure we're gonna get Darth Maul's fucking Crime Syndicate the movie or some shit in. Which was super cool. Like I did like that arc of the Clone Wars, especially like him versus Vizsla.
I didn't.
My favorite scenes. He's just chopping Vizsla's fucking head off in the Mandalorian throne room. Badass. Like, and that was a good fight.
The choreography was good. It just like, why does it need to be like that? Everything that Maul did in Clone Wars could have been done by Savage, and it wouldn't have ruined like Maul to me.
Right.
I did begin to because I like the Clone Wars. I did begin to forget that they brought him back, but I didn't like it at first. I mean, I don't really like it at all. But
well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, it's weird because like people have said like Maul and Ahsoka are Dave Filoni's babies, and it's funny because I feel very similarly about Maul and Ahsoka. I hated Ahsoka at first. Didn't think there was any reason for her to be what she was, Anakin's Padawan, just shoehorned in with no mention in the movies or books or anything, right? And then same with Maul being brought back from the dead, right? But like again, they were done justice, and like again, if they weren't introduced so jarringly and weird, then I probably would have liked their characters a lot.
Right.
So it comes to be
spider legs Maul.
Yeah,
that was too much. It wasn't right.
Yeah,
his little worm sidekick.
I'd rather he was crawling around still or something.
Right.
Yeah. Well, General Grievous is another thing that Clone Wars just ruined, but that's all that falls 100% on George Lucas's shoulders. I
was gonna say, hell, Revenge of the Sith.
What do you mean? I still like Grievous. What's wrong with Grievous?
Well, I was okay with Revenge of the Sith's rendition of Grievous because Grievous was fucking like injured. Grievous was like fucked up by Windu.
Time to abandon ship.
I thought
something is like, oh, it's time to run away again. Do this all the time.
Yeah. What were you saying, Thor, about Grievous?
I thought both were acceptable, like both renditions of.
Have you seen the 03 Clone Wars? The 2D Clone Wars?
2D, yeah.
You have?
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you still like the 3D version of Clone Wars? Or this 3D Clone Wars version of Grievous, sorry.
Grievous is just cool no matter what, I think. Well, but yeah, I don't know. I suppose I know what you mean.
There's such a disconnect, though.
The Samurai Jack style one.
Right.
I know what you mean now. Now I think about
literally
it.
fighting 6 Jedi at once and not breaking a sweat.
Ass in that one.
And then in 3D Clone Wars, a 14-year-old beats his ass. So does 4 Gungans.
Gets beaten by the Gungans.
Gotta watch out for those bombad tactics. Grievous wasn't ready for
It's
that.
a bombad
That's
tactic.
bombad tactic. Cha-cha! Use
He
the
gets
booba!
crunching.
Use the booba!
And give up.
Misa no have a booba! Jesus Christ.
Jar Jar is too good.
Misa na crescent of the Hebblubber, and then be banished!
A little bit of meat wad stuck in there too.
You gotta, like-
I can see
Yeah.
a little bit of
You gotta like do you gotta like have a air bubble in your throat when you do it. That's the key.
search free pizza. See if we come out of that
Man
drive.
the map, man the map. I like kinda like I have to like swallow to do it. Yeah. Good question. I mean, like, it's something that's talked about a lot, though.
Right.
Because, like, I mean, a lot of people do like Maul, and it's like, it's... I like Maul, too. It's just, I wish they handled him very differently.
It's quite likely to happen, but it's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
It's sort of a
It just feels like, to me...
maybe, I suppose.
To me, Maul just feels like a character that, like, we know people think he's cool, so let's just throw him in. Despite the fact that he was very definitively ended. You know? Like, more so ended than other characters that have returned miraculously. Like,
Probably my
he did
least
fall down
favorite
a
part of
bottomless pit, but he was chopped in half first. You know?
I think
What
everybody
happens for Sarge Ventress? I can't remember.
that's fallen down in a bottomless pit has come back at some point, right? Like bottomless pits.
Except for Mace Windu.
And that wasn't a pit. That was a skyline.
That was Coruscant. Yeah.
Slightly different.
I guess, yeah, a circular pit, like how
Right.
Weequay didn't come back. Weequay's still getting, to this day,
Could have
he's
been
being
any one of the
digested by Sarlacc.
I bet he's one of the random background weak way we've seen. They're gonna tell us that story in like 10 years once they're out of other stories.
I like to think
Right.
that
We're gonna
Weequay.
get Weequay, a Star Wars story.
I like to think
Just 2
that.
hours of him getting digested slowly over time.
So you know how Weequay before Weequay became the name of the species, that character's name was Weequay for like literally like 10 years probably.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that that individual's parents were so stupid they just named him Weequay, even though his species is Weequay. So it's just the Weequay named Weequay. It's like having a cat named Cat because that's the only thing they respond to.
Yeah.
One of my friends has a dog named Dog, so I wouldn't be surprised.
That's unacceptable.
Yeah, we call
Too much.
there's an alley cat who hangs around our porch sometimes because we give him food sometimes.
I guess.
And we call him
yeah.
we call him Cat. We haven't given him a name because we don't want to get too emotionally attached to him.
Right.
Because, you know, we already have 2 cats and it's a small apartment, so...
It's a cat. It's not your cat. It's the cat.
It's Cat.
My
Cat.
great cat, his
name
name
is-
is Spaghetti.
Nice. Yeah, I've got a friend who has a cat named Corn Dog.
Nice. That's a good name for a cat.
One of my I don't know why we're talking about cats named after food items, but one of my one of the players in my D&D game I'm running on Sundays has a cat named Biscuit too.
Pretty cute.
Yeah. And then you have me naming my cats after Greek mythology. It's okay. We all love Apollo.
It's true.
Him and Jade were snuggling together in their cat tower, and it was the cutest fucking thing in the world. They look like one morphed cat with 2 heads.
My favorite part about your cats is that when you were playing Jade Empire, you did the stream announcements in Discord. Like now playing picture of your cat emoji Empire.
Yeah.
It replaced it.
Yep. Yep, my cat Jade, who has more often than not jumped on my desk during my streams and hit buttons on the keyboard.
Or when she talked to Kebla Yurt for you a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I like how you Oh, you were both there for that? I like how you specifically remember it was me talking to Kebla. At least it wasn't like an important
It might have
conversation.
been a different character, actually.
It's like me talking to Calla Nord, she gets me killed. 1, 2, 3. No! No! God, it meant
Murders
like,
the chick with the raid plate.
I would hear it over my headphones too. I would just hear 1, boop, 2. Just like trying to finish up my piss. Like, oh shit, Jade, no, no! My last save was 3 hours ago. No! Oh man. Okay. Well, I don't know, man. Like, maybe we should come up with another talking point because I mean,
I don't think you could be that far into the game 3 hours in 3.
Yeah, I know.
Just, like once you've gone to Undercity, you can't actually experience that scene.
And some
So
weird
under-
meta
under-
build.
Undercity, yeah.
I suppose.
An arm.
Well, you can if you don't go into the
If you
the
spoke
second.
to everyone and said every last thing,
Oh well, yeah.
you could possibly spend, or likely spend 3 hours in just the upper city.
Yeah, you clearly
so-
haven't spent enough time watching my KOTOR
Yeah,
streams because
I
that's
have played a
that's
lot
how
of
I do.
KOTOR. Well, no, but yeah, oh man, that's long. I mean,
It is long.
obviously when I go for a full playthrough, I will, but because I've been testing, I can't.
Oh yeah, for testing, I wouldn't do that every
it's-
time. Because you're
I
probably
mean, I
doing,
want to play it properly again at some point, but I just need to keep testing.
probably doing the same
working on it.
sequence multiple times a day when you're testing. So yeah, I would rush through it too.
I may set up KOTOR 1 properly at some point with a bunch of mods, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be a good like reprieve. I don't know. All right. Well, let's
I've played through it. I've still enjoyed my playthroughs in the port. I mean, even if I've had to cheat and get a kill saver just because the enemies are still a bit off. They're almost not off. It's just almost there. Look at that.
Does anyone? I don't know. Do any of you guys have any other topics you want to talk about? Anything stands out to you? Really, could be anything. I mean, it's anything vaguely related to Star Wars, I guess.
No, there's not really too much I've got on my mind that I haven't really covered. It's kind of been a slow couple weeks for Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess here's something. I mean, we could talk more about this later. But I heard that the latest Vader comics are a little controversial.
I know where you're going with this because
Star
it
Wars
blew
Theory
up on
video.
Reddit. This dude, the Star Wars Theory video. I don't watch Star Wars Theory anymore.
I don't either, but I saw this one. And it popped up on my YouTube recommends.
There was something similar I saw on Reddit where this guy was like, the Vader comics just broke the whole lore. And then later on, he made like 15 different edits being like, oh, well, this makes sense. I didn't have context here. Thanks for explaining this. But my point still stands.
Yeah, so like,
yeah.
So what
mainly Star Wars Theory is just pissed because he's one of those guys that pushes this idea that Dave Filoni is going to retcon the sequel trilogy movies and make his own Filoniverse to replace it. But once the Vader comics are like directly making ties to the Rise of Skywalker, it's got everybody just pissed off.
It's far too late
because Vader went to Exegol or whatever.
Yeah, they're like Disney's just not going to do that. That makes no financial sense at all to do. And as much as I hate the sequel trilogy, there are people who like it, and they're not gonna just like, they're not gonna just abandon those people.
No, and ultimately you don't want to rob them of their Star Wars experience because Star Wars is a generational thing. 20 years from now, people are going to be talking about the sequels like we started talking about the prequels a few years ago, and I feel like those movies are going to have their own renaissance once the kids that grew up on those movies actually start to become the main voice of the Star Wars fandom.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now with Bad Batch and The Mandalorian, there's post prequel and post sequel.
See, that's the thing. I think people are going to remember things like The Mandalorian more than the sequel trilogy. I 100% believe that. Just because of the way media has changed so much while the sequel trilogy has been released, you know, I mean, everything's streaming, everything's coming out a lot faster. Because like, I mean, when we were kids watching the prequels, right? I think we were all kids during the prequels. I don't think any of us are that old.
Indeed.
Like, when we were kids watching the prequels, it was, we had the '03 Clone Wars, which is amazing. We had some video games, we had some books and comics, but we didn't have a fucking live-action Star Wars, like, incredibly high-budget show coming out every week. You know?
True.
Yeah. Goddamn Pedro Pascal and fucking Carl Weathers and like S-tier Hollywood actors.
Yeah, big actors. Like, I mean, at the time it would have been like, what if Brad Pitt played the Mandalorian? You know? I mean, not saying Pedro Pascal is like this generation's Brad Pitt, but like,
oh yeah.
I'm just trying to remember like who was cool back then. Adrian Brody as the Mandalorian.
Ryan Seacrest as.
Yeah. I do think the sequels will probably have a similar reception that the prequels are having now. Like, people will remember them a little bit more fondly because as a kid you don't give a shit about like bad acting or
turn
bad
back to the Vader
or...
comic thing, since this is a series I actively keep up with.
Right, yeah.
The only other thing that they're pissed about is oh, well, how did Vader know about Exegol and all this and not tell Luke or anything like this? I'm like, and what, the 5 minutes where he drug him to the ship before he died? What do you mean forgot to tell him? And Luke even mentions it's mentioned in the Rise of Skywalker that Luke had been looking for Exegol for years but never had the Wayfinder. So Luke did know about Exegol.
The MacGuffin dagger.
Yeah.
Is that what
she had a really
because Vader and the guy who originally had the dagger or whatever in TROS are pinned against each other because Palpatine's like testing him. So originally he's like trying to assassinate Vader, but then they end up teaming up to find Exegol. Normally the comics are it's not shit I retain a whole ton. It's just kind of like stuff I read every week when it comes out to kill a few minutes, but most of it never really sticks like a lot of novels do. But to broad strokes, it essentially they do find Exegol, and they already see where like the Final Order Hidden Fleet's already being constructed. But I don't even think that the fleet being constructed at that point of a time is a big deal. I mean,
right? Yeah,
the thing is, it's going to take time to build something like that, and it wasn't mentioned that they were operational or anything. So
yeah, that's what I was going to ask about too, because it seemed to.
I don't know.
The videos...
Ultimately, it's.
Sorry, go ahead.
But like I said, ultimately it's just a bunch of people pissed off because they're not getting the sequel retcon that they wanted.
Okay. Yeah, because it seemed to me like the implication was that like Palpatine already had his like planet-killing Star Destroyer Death Star fleet before Return of the Jedi, in which case like why the fuck didn't he just blow up the Rebel planets right then and there? But I guess if the fleet wasn't operational yet, that kind of makes sense. Again, I still think the sequels are god awful, every single one, all three movies. But like, yeah, it's just dumb and unrealistic to think that they're gonna be retconned by Disney. Like, Disney's not just gonna go back on it like that. No. If anything, they'll just release stuff that conflicts with it and not officially retcon it, because that's just the only thing they officially retcon is stuff they didn't make, you know. Yeah. For me, I just stick to the EU, because I like the universe better. It clicks better with me, it makes more sense to me, it's what I have more knowledge of, and there's always more stuff to read about the EU because of how big it is. So, yeah.
To say that the EU didn't have stupid shit in it.
Oh, it definitely did. It absolutely did. But again, what universe does? What universe as big and fleshed out as Star Wars doesn't have stupid shit in it? You know?
Exactly.
What doesn't have retcons, doesn't have shit that doesn't add up, doesn't have shit that's just way too overpowered and makes no sense, like the goddamn galaxy gun.
Even Stargate's got quite a few. Everything, yeah, literally, there is nothing that's that big that can't have flaws.
So like, I mean, that's why to me all those arguments against the EU are stupid. It's just like, yeah, the EU had contradictions. It's like, so does Disney canon, so does the Star Trek continuity. Literally only if you watch the shows and the movies of Star Trek, not including the books or anything, the books or the comics or anything. The movies and the shows contradict each other, and those are all S canon. Like those are all right there to stay, and they contradict each other. Star Trek Discovery, wow, that retcons so much shit.
Yeah, Disco sucked.
I didn't like it.
Hate Discovery.
I didn't like it at all. It retconned.
Didn't like Discovery.
Much.
The only non-Roddenberry track that I even like is fucking
Deep Space Nine, which is best track. In my opinion, I think it's best track. I liked portions of Voyager and Enterprise, but overall they definitely were nowhere near as good as Next Generation or Deep Space Nine. But this isn't a Star Trek podcast.
Is the current Vader run good? Like, should I be reading it?
I like the current Vader run. I mean, it covers a lot of the stuff that happens, of course, in between Empire and Return of the Jedi, but it's fleshing out the final few details of Vader's character and why such the quick turn from 5 to 6. And
okay, I remember. I read Marvel, just Star Wars comics when they started.
Yep, that first Star Wars run was decent.
And I read the Leia one.
That one I didn't like as much.
Leia, the southernmost city in Cyrodiil. Sorry.
Anyway, so I read the C-3PO one. I like that one a lot. That was just a one-shot.
The C-3PO one-shot I liked too. Everybody said that one was garbage. But
I thought it was so cute. How do you make
like an epic story out of C-3PO? Like, you've got to make it cute.
You need to read it.
Quirky.
It's actually really depressing. It's very KOTOR 2.
Oh, really?
What are the rights of a droid?
Oh,
droids,
I see.
People, and it's only like one adventure he goes on. It's just like they crash a planet and it's a bunch of droids and they've got to make their way back.
I was ready for C-3PO to meaningfully sacrifice himself in Rise of Skywalker, and I might have considered it better than Last Jedi if they did that. But
so
they
fucking Star Wars comics for a while.
Backpedaled on it. Yeah, sorry.
Keeping up with the Star Wars comics for a while. I hadn't read Vader. I fell off. Then they introduced Afra. People were telling me that Afra is just like the new best character introduced in the comics. Like, okay, well, I'm going to catch up on Vader. I know what she's about, so I can start reading Afra. This chick is like smelling Vader's capes when he's not in the room.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's Vader's stalker, right? That's who that is?
Right.
Yeah. I know a lot of people
that kind of just like kind of threw me off for a bit. So I
smelling Vader's capes.
Literally.
Wait,
literally? I thought you were just
Afra. I thought the chick smelling Vader's cape was like from a one-off thing because Vader like immediately kills her at the end of that one issue.
I thought that Afra was the
I was gonna say that
like a big Vader simp.
That seems more like Vader.
No, she was like working for Vader, but I don't think there was like any deal where she had like romantic feelings towards Vader or was like crushing on him.
Might have just been similarly designed, and I construed them or something.
She wanted his robot. She wanted his robot dong.
Right.
Yeah, because I think the one you're talking about was one of the Vader issues where it was like an assistant of whatever the doctor was that worked on a lot of Vader's cybernetics. Okay. And when Vader was getting worked on, she like ended up taking his cape and like storing it with a lot of other just like shit she takes from different times that they've had to rebuild Vader, and it's just like weird stuff.
Long cylindrical objects.
Right. That was honestly one of the darker and even ended up like as one of the controversial Vader comics that came out because I remember there was like a big Twitter argument that centered around it.
Star Wars Vader Dark Visions #3.
Yes,
the Dark Visions 5-issue miniseries. That's it.
Neat. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. So I think the only renditions of like new canon Vader I've seen are from the movies and from Fallen Order. Which both are very much intended to show Vader off as being incredibly badass, unstoppable killing machine, who just sort of effortlessly bulldozes people without a single problem, which is really cool. It's a cool way to present him. I think that's kind of how I always pictured Vader.
My favorite part of Rogue One.
Yeah, you get a lot of that with Vader in the comics, but the other thing I like that at least a lot of the comics have established with Vader is just certain feelings and thoughts about Padme and everything that happened years ago, because in this latest run, we start to see where he's having a lot of memories come back and re-exploring old wounds with that stuff. So you get more of like the internal struggle going on with Vader at the time.
Right. The alternate one where he finds E3PO's head, like a pile of shit that was brought back from some stormtroopers, and he's just looking at it, and all the stormtroopers are talking to him, and he's just not even responding to him, and he just like,
where he's looking
sad
at
little head touch.
Where he's looking at 3PO's head. Yeah, isn't that? That's not new canon, isn't it? I thought that was from.
Oh no,
that's from the Empire comics.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm talking about like Vader comics in general.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Because I was gonna say the Empire comics are like the EU's version of the new canon Vader comics. Like there's a lot of cool stories there too. I didn't read a lot of them. Pretty much the only one I did read was the one where he kills the chick that we spent fucking forever trying to find her name. The chick from the KOTOR comics with the Rakata talisman.
I think I still have the Jango Fett.
Oh shit!
Somewhere.
I forgot her name again. I remember the talisman.
Wait, Vader kills her like post Order 66?
Well, yeah, it's the.
So are we talking about like Anya Kuro?
No.
Not Anya. Okay.
I don't know who that is. Yeah. No, it's no, it's in the old EU Empire comics. This isn't the new.
I remember
Vader
reading
comics.
this.
Okay, well, Anya Kuro was from old EU. She was like, she trained somebody like Kiadi Mundi or Sharad Head or something like that.
No. This is
Ashrad Head.
This is the chick from the KOTOR comics with the Rakata talisman.
Oh, from
She was like
Yeah.
in some sort of stasis.
Yeah,
or
she
some
gets
shit.
she gets
The
she gets
mirror
entombed.
talisman.
She gets entombed with the mirror talisman, and she gets entombed for 4,000 years, and then Vader and a legion of stormtroopers
I got you.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like
We
somebody
talked
from
about
that
it.
timeline.
We talked about it on May 4th, and I can't fucking remember what her
The
damn
Last
name
Morn?
is. Celeste Morn. That's what it is. God damn it. We spent forever trying to find her name last time too. My bad. But yeah, that I don't remember what Empire comics it is, but it's one of them, and yeah, because the
Shattered Empire, was it?
no, Shattered Empire was fuck. Wasn't Shattered Empire later? Shattered Empire was post Jedi, wasn't it?
I remember.
Because Empire was Empire was basically
Arc
following
title.
Empire was basically following Vader around, and like looking at basically the Galactic Civil War from Vader's perspective. And then Rebellion was the opposite. Rebellion was from like Luke and Han's perspective.
Yeah, a couple good Rebellion ones.
And then there was Republic, and there wasn't a CIS one, but Republic was I think Republic literally started like not long after Phantom Menace, because one of the first Republic comics is when Yariel Poof sacrifices himself to save Coruscant, and he helps Jango Fett and Zam Wesell like track down this like terrorist that's trying to blow up Coruscant, and then Yariel Poof like literally fucking swallows the bomb and it kills him and no one else or whatever, and that's how Yariel Poof dies
Christ.
in the EU. Yeah.
They're a less represented
he's
Jedi
notably
Master on the council than Yarael Poof.
Oppo Rancisis.
The man that was literally
Yeah, he
just
shows
taken
up
off the
in
couch
03 Clone
from
Wars.
one movie to the next because
For
of
like-
the Kaminoans.
For like 15 seconds, yeah.
Yeah,
This is preposterous. Yeah.
yeah.
Yariel Poof
More screen time than Yarael Poof.
Probably not, actually. I don't know. Yariel Poof has like 3 minutes of screen time, because one of my intro stream videos is literally every scene with Yariel Poof in it. You know, I'll look at it real quick.
Never says anything.
It never says anything. I mean, not in
Does anything.
in the comics. I mean, are we talking about just movies? Because we're talking about
I'm
just.
sure I can find an obscure comic with Oppo Rancisis doing some wacky shit like swallowing a bomb. Like,
He survives up until the Clone Wars, apparently. Yeah. But which is weird, because he actually wasn't on the council in Attack the Clones, I think.
Yeah.
So, like, he could have stepped down. Now, some of the Masters on the Council in Phantom Menace did step down in Attack the Clones. Yaddle is probably the biggest example of that. Some of them died, some of them stepped down. I'm trying to remember. Deepa Balaba, I think. Well, Deepa Balaba was on the Council in Episode 2, but she died during the Clone Wars in Shatterpoint. Spoiler alert, I guess, for Shatterpoint, a book that came out like 10 years ago. But,
First spoilers for the Bad Batch.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's funny because, yeah, Deepa Balaba. Yeah. Yeah, God, I always forget about that, yeah. More retcons, but I guess it's not really a retcon because, you know, none of the old EU is canon anymore.
Can't wait to find out how Shaak Ti dies again, because we no longer have a new canon. Death.
Yeah. They probably just fucking killed her on Kamino. She was on Kamino the whole time.
It's not Star Killer. It's not Grievous. It's not Grievous. It's not Grievous.
Grievous. It's not Anakin. Anakin kills her in Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other like 3 times it's Grievous, and then in Force Unleashed it's Star Killer. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Well, because she was just like in Clone Wars. I think the only thing we saw Shaak Ti do was like test Fives and Echo, and they're like tests to become clone troopers or whatever.
What we need to do is we need to watch that scene when the Bad Batch first shows up on Kamino after Order 66, and there's the body and the lightsaber falls out.
It's not Shaak Ti.
No, but we should see if we can mash that lightsaber to somebody.
Yeah, people have been doing that. Actually, we should have talked about. I guess we talked about that now, but we should have talked about that when we were talking about the Bad Batch. People have been doing that, and the closest people could come up with right now is that like green Jedi doctor chick. I don't remember. I don't know if the Jedi healer. I don't remember exactly what
Panara?
she did. Say again.
Panara?
Panara?
Luminara?
No, not Luminara. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No. Yeah, no. She dies on Kashyyyk. She's on Kashyyyk in Revenge of the Sith. Yeah.
Just can't think of any other green Jedi woman.
Yeah. Well, there's the weird like nymph alien lady that has like the flowing like vines for hair.
Whose sister got killed?
Yeah, whose sister got killed.
The early 66er?
Yeah, that's not her though. It's a Jedi healer from one of the later episodes of Clone Wars. I can try and find it real quick.
Interested.
Yeah, that's the closest people get, but even that, it's not perfect because the lightsaber isn't identical. It looks similar, and the hand is green. The hand that falls out of the spot is green.
Okay.
Has green skin, but yeah.
I may call it a night soon. It's getting a little late for me. It's 3 in the morning, and it's coming up 3 in the morning.
Yeah,
it's at the end of my time as well.
I know Vatred's got to bounce soon as well. Yeah, I don't know what your plans are, Stark, but I'm down to just like talk more about Star Wars if you want. But whatever you feel like doing. I'm trying to. Fucking...
I was probably gonna cut and then stream some Mass Effect in a bit.
Oh, cool. Okay. Rig Nima?
So all the letters for Ligma are in there.
No L.
I thought you said I thought you started with an L.
Rig Nima.
Lima. Damn, okay. I thought you said Lima.
1 second.
Okay, yeah, I see her.
That is the
Oh, yeah, she's from the episode where
Yoda gets sick. Yeah.
Yoda starts getting
yeah.
she starts getting the visions,
6.
or
Yeah,
Yoda starts getting the visions.
It's season 6. Yeah, she's the Jedi healer or whatever. Yeah, like the dedicated healer.
The healers, we need to get on galaxies at some point.
Oh, I know. I keep forgetting to do.
Speaking of medics,
Done.
You guys' work schedules are too
I think I'd
opposite
sooner
of each
get
other.
back on the Old Republic just because it's active for now.
Oh god, I want to go back and play the Old Republic. It's just the gameplay sucks ass now.
never going
I
back.
liked World of Warcraft,
It's
at least
so
its gameplay, so I
boring.
like the Old Republic.
Well, they just made it too easy.
At least the gameplay.
If they actually made it so that like you needed the slightest semblance of skill to play the game, then maybe I'd play it.
Oh, it used to have that.
It
It
did.
used to be quite. I liked it to begin with.
I
A
played
nice
it.
long talk about that
And
last
then
time.
it did just
Yeah.
get easier and easier and easier.
I played it since
and
closed
easier.
beta. Yeah, I played it since closed beta. I remember when
same.
it was actually
Closed
hard.
beta.
Yeah.
I've got the Malgus statue from the deluxe edition pre-order.
Same here. Wait, do all three of us have it?
Mhm.
That's hilarious.
I have
I'm
looked
not,
about
I
that
can't be
once.
bothered.
Here, watch the. Look at this. You want to see my footrest?
It's up there.
It's the statue.
Both
There it
both
is.
of them
This is
are
my
up there.
this is my
Both-
footrest. See how
the
fucking worn it
footrest,
is?
That's terrible. That's terrible. Mine's looked after, dusted, regularly. Got
It's a
box
box.
that I can put in.
It's a fucking
Yeah, well.
box. I got all. I
Looks
mean,
I
nice.
just got a $3
everything.
ottoman from the
It's
thrift
got a
store.
nice pattern.
Everything that was in the box is well cared for. Believe me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, to quote
It happens as well, you know.
To quote you and your rant about computer cases that one time, it's a fucking box.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
A
true.
very similar statue of Malik as well.
Oh, that's cool. I don't have anything. I had a Star Wars miniature of Malik from the Star Wars Minis game. I bought one Knights of the Old Republic pack, and I got Malik and HK-47 in the same pack.
Yeah. I was hunting for that Black Series Revan when it came out for so long, and I could not fucking find it, and it was immediately so expensive on the internet.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it sells for hundreds now. Yeah, well.
Deadlies and germs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good. If anyone, any last second questions from chat, feel free to ask. But I think that's gonna be it. Vatra's got his baseball game. Thor's got his going to bed.
Sleep.
His sleep to do.
Yes, just sleeping.
Yeah.
Set up another 3D print and then sleep.
Yeah.
All right, so, well, I'll hop out, guys. Thanks for having me on again.
Always.
Here later, I may be streaming tonight. Don't know what I'm going to do yet, but you can find me at UncleVatred_TV. And with that being said, thank you once again, and I am out of here.
All right. Have a good one. Catch you around, Vader.
Pleasure as always.
Catch you around, you two. Have a good one. I'm gonna head off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ciao.
Chile to
Cool.
Thor.
And
And then there were two.
yeah, so we were actually talking, since you and Vatrid seem to both have Tuesdays off every other week. Figured we'd record every other week on Tuesday. So it'd basically be like the next time we record would be the 15th.
Yeah, that would work for me.
Yeah,
Just have 2 episodes of.
right. Because Vatrid said he's
The
not
Vatrid
gonna.
time.
Vatrid said he's not gonna have to leave early. Sorry, I'm rearranging nameplates now since they left.
Same.
But yeah, Vatrid said he's not gonna have to leave early. Most Tuesdays, it's just this time he had like an especially important game.
Oh yeah. And by me.
Cool. So, did you say you were gonna stream Mass Effect or something, or can you stay on for a little bit?
I'm probably gonna stream, but I'll have to. I have to take the dogs out, them and shit, and then I'll probably be back in maybe an hour at most.
Oh, an hour? A whole hour? Okay.
Yeah, I got a couple things I gotta take care of.
Okay.
I usually stream at about 10 a time, which I guess is 9 your time.
Sorry, you're central, right? I keep forgetting. You're like in a sort of ambiguous position between East Coast and Central, but all right, cool. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and call it there then.
Hell yeah.
So, chat. Thank
Always
you
a
guys for
pleasure.
watching. Yep, absolutely. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out. This episode should be edited and on YouTube by Friday. I didn't record in a stupidly high storage size this time, so hopefully I can actually have the podcast out on time this time. But yeah, I don't know. Like we didn't record for like a super long time. I don't know if we're gonna have. We might have a really short episode.
Just shy of 3 hours.
We might have a short episode next week, depending on when I can find a good break. But if not, it's whatever. But yeah,
we can pad it out. We'll like find some reference shots or something.
Yeah. If it really comes to that, I could definitely do that. But and then
just holla.
I guess my news for my channel, streaming Mass Effect tomorrow, starting a new KOTOR 2 run on Friday, and then Friday night we'll be doing our Spaceballs watch party in my Discord, so make sure to join that. Because it'll be fucking great. Spaceballs is probably one of my like top 10 favorite movies of all time, so but yeah. And then just remember to subscribe on YouTube if you want to see more of the VODs of this. YouTube. And there you go. And make sure to follow Thor, UncleVatred, Starknado, and I guess myself if you haven't already on Twitch as well.
Yeah. Always glad to hang out with the Vulcanation. I'll be back in about an hour with some Mass Effect on my channel. I made sure to give everybody plenty of time. I didn't, I could stream it without spoiling it for any of my people.
Oh, did you? Were we not supposed to spoil stuff for your people or what?
Oh no, I mean like I was giving you and everybody else. I had many people that hadn't played Mass Effect in my channel. Okay, well I'm gonna wait a couple weeks and then I'll start Mass Effect 1. They're all on Mass Effect 2 and 3.
I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'll try and swing by. So you're still on Mass Effect 1?
Yeah, I've just left the Citadel for the first time.
Oh damn. Okay. Found all those keepers.
It took me like 7 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sure once you
know where they all are.
Yeah, once you do it a couple times, it's way easier. Yeah.
Oop.
But okay. Well. Catch y'all later. I'm gonna go probably get some food, so.
Good to see y'all. Another episode wrapped.